Hey there, beautiful people. Welcome back to The Dang Good Show. I'm your host, Christine Dang, but you can call me CDang. Today, we're diving into a topic that's becoming increasingly important in our rapidly evolving world, emotional intelligence in the age of automation. With AI and automation transforming nearly every industry, from customer service chatbots to self-driving cars, there's a lot of discussions about which skills remain relevant and valuable for humans. And at the top of that list, emotional intelligence, or EQ as it's often called. As machines get better at handling technical tasks and processing information, our uniquely human abilities, empathy, self-awareness, social skills, and emotional understanding are becoming more valuable than ever before. These aren't just soft skills anymore. They're essential skills for thriving in the 21st century. I've been fascinated by this topic for years. If you've been listening to the show for a while, you know how passionate I am about emotional intelligence. In episode 12, we explored the power of self-awareness and self-love. And in episode 41, we dove into perception versus perspective. Today, we're building on those foundations and exploring why EQ matters even more in an automated world. So whether you're worried about AI taking your job, curious about which human skills remain irreplaceable, or simply interested in developing your emotional intelligence to navigate our increasingly digital world, this episode is for you. Let's dive in and explore how EQ can be your superpower in the age of automation. Let's start by looking at how the world of work is changing and why emotional intelligence is becoming more crucial than ever. The World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs report highlights that as automation increases, the demand for technical skills alone is no longer enough. The most valuable employees will be those who combine technical knowledge with distinctly human skills, creativity, critical thinking, and you guessed it, emotional intelligence. Think about it. AI can process data faster than any human. It can analyze patterns, make predictions, and even generate content. ChatGPT can write a decent email. Midjourney can create stunning images, and automated systems can handle customer inquiries around the clock. But what these systems can't do, at least not authentically, is understand the nuanced emotional needs of human, build genuine relationships, or show empathy in complex situations. I recently read about a hospital that implemented an AI system to handle patient scheduling and basic information gathering. The system was incredibly efficient, freeing up staff from routine administrative tasks. But here's the interesting part. Patient satisfaction didn't improve until they paired this technology with additional training for nurses and doctors in, you guessed it, emotional intelligence. Patients appreciated the efficiency, but what they valued most was the compassionate care and emotional connection they received from the human staff. This pattern is repeating across industries. As routine tasks become automated, the distinctly human elements of work, building relationships, understanding emotional needs, creative problem solving, and ethical decision making becomes more valuable, not less. I saw this firsthand when I was working in a corporate world. Year after year, more tasks became automated, and the people who thrived weren't necessarily those with the most technical skills. It was those who could navigate complex social dynamics, who could understand what people needed beyond what they were explicitly saying, who could build trust and foster collaboration. In short, it was those with high emotional intelligence. So while headlines about AI taking jobs can be scary, there's an encouraging flip side. The more machines handle logical, routine work, the more space opens up for human connection, creativity, and emotional intelligence to shine. Let's break down what emotional intelligence actually is and why each component matters in our increasingly automated world. Psychologist Daniel Goldman, who popularized the concept, breaks emotional intelligence into 5 key components: self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. Let's explore each one in the context of our automated age. Number 1, self-awareness. This is the foundation of emotional intelligence, understanding your own emotions, strengths, weaknesses, values, and goals. In an age where algorithms are constantly trying to predict and influence our behavior, self-awareness becomes a superpower. When you truly know yourself, you can make conscious choices rather than being nudged by notifications and recommendations. You can recognize when technology is serving you versus when it's distracting you from what truly matters. I talked about this in episode 12, but it bears repeating. Self-awareness is like having an internal compass that helps you navigate a world of endless information and options. As automation takes over more of our external environment, this internal awareness becomes even more precious. Number 2, self-regulation. This is the ability to control disruptive emotions and adapt to changing circumstances. In an age of instant gratification and constant digital stimulation, self-regulation is crucial. It's what helps you put down your phone when you need to focus, maintain composure during a video call when technology frustrates you, or set healthy boundaries with work in a world where you could technically be on 24/7. Number 3, motivation. This is about having a drive beyond external rewards and status, finding purpose and enjoyment in what you do. As routine tasks become automated, the work left for humans often requires more creativity, problem solving, and personal investment. Internal motivation becomes essential when external motivators like micromanagement are removed. The people who will thrive are those who can find purpose and joy in their work, even without constant external validation. Number 4, empathy. This is understanding and considering others' feelings, especially when making decisions. In a world where digital communication removes many nonverbal cues, empathy becomes more challenging yet more important. Can you sense the emotion behind the text message? Can you understand what a colleague needs when you're only seeing them through a screen? Empathy helps us connect authentically even when technology mediates our interactions. And lastly, number 5, social skills. This includes communication, conflict management, leadership, and building bonds. As remote and hybrid work becomes more common, skilled relationship navigation through digital channels becomes invaluable. The ability to build trust, manage conflicts, and collaborate effectively through screens is a distinct advantage in today's workplace. What's fascinating is that while AI can stimulate some aspects of these skills, it can't truly experience emotions or build genuine relationships. An AI might analyze language patterns to detect emotion or generate appropriate responses, but it doesn't feel empathy. It stimulates it. This distinction is crucial because humans can sense authentic connection, and that's something that remains uniquely human. Enjoying what you're hearing? Fantastic! To make sure you're always in the loop with the latest episode, just hit that subscribe button. Your support makes all the difference. And hey, this podcast thrives because of awesome listeners like you. So a big shout out for that. And of course, I'm on Instagram. Find and follow me at Christine_Dang. Lastly, looking for more information on what we discussed today? Just cruise on over to thedangoodshow.com, click on the episode you're curious about, and voila, access to the show notes. Now, without further ado, let's jump back into the show. I want to share a personal story about how emotional intelligence has been a crucial advantage in my own career, especially as more aspects of work became automated. Early in my career, I was working at a company that was going through a major digital transformation. Many processes were being automated, and there was understandable anxiety about what this meant for people's jobs. The leadership brought in new systems and tools, focusing heavily on the technical aspects of the transition. What they overlooked was the human element. People weren't just worried about learning new systems. They were fearful about their futures, frustrated by the change in their daily work, and grieving the loss of familiar routines. There was a technical plan, but no emotional plan. I found myself in an interesting position. I wasn't the most technically advanced person on the team, but I noticed I was able to bridge the gap between the leadership's vision and the team's emotional reality. I could sense the unspoken concerns in meetings, translate technical jargon into relatable concepts, and help people feel heard during a challenging transition. While some colleagues focused solely on mastering the new tools, I focused on both the technical aspects and the human experience of change. I made space for people to express their concerns, helped the leadership understand the emotional impact of their decisions, and found ways to make the transition feel more collaborative than imposed. What started as informal emotional support evolved into a leadership role focused on change management. The technical transformation was important, but it was the human element, the emotional intelligence piece, that ultimately determined whether the change would succeed or fail. This experience taught me something profound. As more aspects of work become automated, the ability to navigate the human aspects becomes proportionally more valuable. It's not about competing with AI. It's about complementing it by focusing on what remains distinctly human: our emotional lives, our need for connection, and our desire to be understood. I share this story because I believe many of you have similar opportunities in your workplaces, families, and communities. As automation increases, there's a growing space for emotional intelligence to shine, whether it's formally recognized or not. Your ability to understand emotions, both your own and others, could be your greatest professional asset in the years ahead. So, how can we actively develop our emotional intelligence in an increasingly digital world? Here are some practical strategies I've found helpful both personally and in coaching others. Number 1, practice mindful technology use. Start by becoming more intentional about when, how, and why you use technology. Digital tools can either enhance or diminish your emotional intelligence depending on how we use them. Set specific times to check emails and social media rather than responding to every notification. Create tech-free zones or times in your home where you focus on face-to-face connection. Remember what we discussed in episode 14 about mindful tech use? Those principles become even more important as automation increases. By being selective about your technology use, you create space for the deep focus and presence that emotional intelligence requires. Number 2, use technology as an EQ training ground. While digital communication can make emotional connections more challenging, it provides unique opportunities to practice EQ. Before hitting send on an important email, pause and ask yourself, how might the recipient feel when they read this? Is there a better way to phrase this? Am I considering their perspective? Digital interactions can become a training ground for more thoughtful communication. When we can't rely on non-verbal cues, we have to be more intentional about how we express ourselves and how we interpret others' messages. Number 3, actively practice perspective taking. As I discussed in episode 41, perception and perspective dramatically influence how we experience the world. In an age where algorithms can create filter bubbles that limit our exposure to diverse viewpoints, we need to make conscious efforts to understand different perspectives. Make it a point to seek out viewpoints that differ from your own. When you encounter someone with a different opinion, approach the conversation with curiosity rather than judgment. Ask questions like, what experiences led you to this view? Or, help me understand how you see the situation. This perspective taking is fundamental to empathy, which is a core component of emotional intelligence. Number 4, build reflection into your routine. Self-awareness, the foundation of emotional intelligence, requires regular reflection. In our busy, distraction-filled lives, this doesn't happen accidentally. It needs to be intentional. Consider starting a reflection practice like journaling, meditation, or even a weekly review where you contemplate questions like, what emotions dominated my week? How did my emotions influence my decisions? Where did I connect or disconnect from others? What triggered strong reactions in me and why? These reflective practices build the self-awareness muscle, which is essential as we navigate an increasingly complex and automated world. Number 5, prioritize in-person connection. While digital communication has its place, there's no substitute for face-to-face interaction when it comes to building emotional intelligence. Make it a point to prioritize in-person conversations, especially for important and sensitive topics. Pay attention to nonverbal cues. Practice active listening without digital distractions and be fully present when you're with others. These real-world social interactions are irreplaceable training grounds for emotional intelligence. And lastly, number 6, seek feedback on your emotional impact. Now, most of us have blind spots when it comes to how our words and actions affect others. Actively seeking feedback can help us become more aware of our emotional impact. Ask trusted friends, family members, or colleagues questions like, how did that conversation feel to you? Or, is there a way I could have communicated that more effectively? This feedback loop is invaluable for developing both self-awareness and social skills. By intentionally practicing these strategies, you can develop your emotional intelligence even as the world becomes more automated. And remember, this isn't just about professional advantage. It's about enriching all aspects of your life through deeper connection and understanding. As we look to the future, I believe we're heading toward a new kind of balance between human and machine capabilities. Rather than either-or scenarios where AI either takes all our jobs or becomes merely a tool, I see a partnership emerging. One where technology handles information processing and routine tasks, while humans focus on emotional connection, ethical reasoning, creative thinking, and complex problem solving. This partnership will require us to double down on what makes us uniquely human. As Satya Nadella, Microsoft CEO, puts it, AI is going to be one of the most profound technologies, but ultimately it's in the service of enhancing human capability. The key phrase here is enhancing human capability, not replacing it. Consider healthcare as an example. AI can analyze medical images to detect abnormalities with remarkable accuracy, potentially saving countless lives through early detection. But the doctor who delivers the diagnosis, who understands the patient's fears and hopes, who can explain options with compassion and clarity, that requires emotional intelligence that no algorithm can replicate. Or think about education. Adaptive learning platforms can personalize content and pacing for each student, making education more accessible and efficient. But the teacher who notices a student's confusion, who finds just the right words of encouragement, who builds a classroom culture of curiosity and respect, that's emotional intelligence at work. These examples highlight a potential future where humans and machines complement each other rather than compete. And in this future, emotional intelligence becomes not just a nice to have, but an essential skill set for meaningful contribution. This vision excites me because it's not about trying to outperform machines at what they do best. It's about leaning into our uniquely human capacities and using technology to enhance rather than replace them. It's about creating a world where technology handles the routine so we can focus on the meaningful. As we navigate this transition, those with high emotional intelligence will thrive not despite automation, but because of it. They'll be the one who can bridge the human-machine divide, who can ensure technology serves human flourishing rather than diminishing it, who can build cultures of connection in an increasingly digital world. As we wrap up today's episode on emotional intelligence in the age of automation, I hope you're feeling both informed and inspired about the irreplaceable value of your uniquely human skills. While it's easy to feel anxious about the pace of technological change, I believe there's tremendous opportunity in this shift. As machines take on more routine tasks, we have the chance to focus on what makes us most human: our capacity for emotional connection, empathy, and understanding. Developing your emotional intelligence isn't just about professional advantage, though that's certainly a benefit. It's about living a richer, more connected life in all dimensions. It's about bringing your full humanity to the world that desperately needs it. If you want to dive deeper into aspects of emotional intelligence, check out episode 12, where we explored self-awareness and self-love, or episode 41, where we discuss the crucial differences between perception and perspective. Both episodes offer complementary insights to what we've discussed today. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this topic. How are you seeing the interplay between emotional intelligence and automation in your own life? Drop me a message on Instagram at Christine_Dang or visit c-dang.com to share your experiences. Thank you so much for joining me on The Dang Good Show. Until next time, stay human, stay connected, and as always, stay dang good. Much love, CDang signing out. Thank you for joining us on The Dang Good Show. Remember to swing by our website, thedangoodshow.com, where you can easily subscribe on platforms like Apple, Google, and Spotify to keep up with our latest episodes. Loved what you heard today? A thumbs up and a positive review on your favorite listening platform would be incredibly appreciated. And if our show struck a chord with you, sharing it with just one friend can help our community grow and thrive. Thanks once more for lending your ears to me on The Dang Good Show. Until we meet again, take care and goodbye.